everybody, and welcome back to another AGP Creator Podcast. With me today is going to be an amazing person. I love her dearly. Her name is Enrica Jang. But as always, before we get started, we got to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. To a big shout out to the Gym City Comic Con. That's a premier comic book show in Dayton, Ohio. That's normally in March or April. Obviously, didn't happen this year. We're looking forward to at least 2021, if not 2021, then 2022. To the Champion City Comic Con, which is in Springfield, Ohio, normally in October. And you can check out their online convention that just happened 2 weeks ago. You can check that out over on the AGP YouTube channel or the Champion City Comic Con Facebook channel. To UVN, the Underground Video Network, bringing you amazing coverage of anything pop culture. And of course, they do their live podcasts on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. called We Talk Too Much over on their Facebook page. To Hazard Productions, an independent comic creator with comics for kids, for adults, everybody. They are amazing and amazing artwork. To Sean Forney Illustration, their independent comics, Charlotte Huntress. Congratulations on your 400% funding of your Kickstarter. I'm so proud of you guys. And make sure that you check out on Fridays and Thursdays at 8 p.m., except for not tonight because you're here with me. Make sure that you check out their sketch off with Thursday Night Throwdown and Friday Night Draw. Now with that, I want to bring my friend Enrica Jang to the show. Hey, baby.
Hey. How's it going? All these names you're going through, like, I haven't seen any of these people in, God, it's almost a year. And so, it's so sad. I miss you.
I miss this stuff so much. Do you know, I was going back through podcasts, and you haven't been on the podcast since I was back on Talk Shoe. And I think we were talking about 27.
Yes, that's right. It's been a while.
It has been that long since you have been on here.
A lot of stuff's happened. To everybody, to all of us. Like, the world is new and all of that, what that means. But
the whole world is new and it's a whole different thing. And yeah, it's been really sad. No conventions this year, but you know, they've been making the right choices. But I know, like I said, you know, hopefully 2021 with some of the shows, but I don't think it's going to happen. No. We're so far behind the rest of the world getting this under control by like 10 months while everybody else got it under control in a few months that I just don't see it happening. I think we have a lot of backtracking and a lot of work ahead of us to get this under control.
Well, here's the worst part. You probably will see some shows try to do, like, did you see this article today about the first cruise ship that finally like did this, and like immediately 5 people have COVID, and like, I'm still feel sorry for those people, but at the same time, so there are going to be these people who are going to like push it and do these shows and stuff. And yeah, not going to be me.
Nope.
Not going to be me.
Nope.
But I had this thought today. I was thinking about like what we're going to be talking about today. And it occurred to me that we are turning to virtual and we're doing all these different streams and like we're becoming cyborgs. In a way, like these phones are going to be like implanted in us, and we're going to have like the glasses with the screens going the entire time. We're going to come out of this and like we'll be like streaming our thoughts to each other and antenna and like weird cyborg kind of.
Enrica just rewrote the entire Terminator trilogy.
We are the Terminators now.
Skynet is actually going to take over.
This is what happened. And the other thing, I was working on this, but like I try to, whenever I ask Alexa or the computer anything, I try to say, thank you. Because when they take over, I want them to remember I said thank you. And they won't throw me into the big blender.
I love the fact that you said her name. She's like, yes, what do you want? Yes.
See? But be nice. Be nice to her. To Siri. To
I don't have those.
Okay, you don't have.
Sorry, I don't have save.
Yes.
I have my PC and I have my PS4. That's it.
Never know. Be nice to them anyway, because the algorithm, when they take over, they're going to remember that one time you said thank you when they gave you the weather report or something, and then they won't throw you in the blender or world stuff. So, just. That's my PSA for tonight. But
so Alexa is the overlord of Skynet. Got it.
And she won't tell you because she's going to like be playing easy listening while they're chopping you into pieces, and you're not really gonna. No, we're just gonna come out of all this different, and like we're still becoming. I think we're still in the process, and we're still being remade. So that's gonna happen. And then who knows what we're going to be like.
Right. But you know what? I give kudos to the comic book community for going, okay, we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. And taking these steps, and you're seeing all these people who back in the old day, it was like yanking their teeth out with pliers trying to get them to do a podcast, because they're like, oh, no. Now they're all like, look at my show.
They're not enough. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's, and they're like going on each other's shows. I don't have a podcast.
That's why you're on my show.
That's why I'm on your show. Podcast for me, but everybody cracked the same joke at the same time, right? It's like, I've been training for this my entire life. Oh, I have to stay home and read books and watch TV all day. Okay, I can do that. So I
got your buddy.
We've been trained for this. We are ready. This is our Olympics, and then we're gonna come out of this.
I got your buddy.
Changed. Hey,
I'm not.
But has Mark been training for?
I've never seen this person before in my life.
I can guarantee you, especially after months of quarantine, I am not ready for the Olympics. I don't know why we're talking about
if we're talking about the lazy Olympics and how much alcohol I can drink in one sitting, I'm ready. I got this.
I mean,
what are the categories too? The lazy river, the lazy river of beer. Yeah.
I mean,
Mark.
Comic book artists are not ready for the Olympics, but Instagram has shown me there's two species of comic book artists. One's like me, and ones that live at the gym and still have time to draw, which I don't understand.
But they're all going to catch COVID if they're at the gym, so they're self-selecting themselves out now.
Anyway, hi Mark, I'm Amanda.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Mark.
I gave Mark the link. He snuck in.
I did.
Enrica's just passing out invites. Here, want to come join me on my podcast? Hello.
It's like sort of a security blanket, because I hadn't been on the show in a while. I was a little bit nervous, so I brought. It's like bringing wine to the party. I brought a Mark Mullaney.
Wine? Okay, I've got about 5 bottles. What kind do you want?
Hey, lady, I'm on boxes by this point. Well, Mark Mullaney is the creator of Ninja Bear, and he is the color and letter and like the magician on our new book, Crossing, the new issue of Crossing and the Ghost Vision variants and stuff like that. So I thought Mark would be a great addition. Crossing. Yes.
Yeah.
New campaign.
Colored that.
Yeah. And doing some cool stuff for it too. So.
I love this here.
Yes.
I didn't color that.
Well, I still love it. You should have just taken credit for it.
You could have.
No,
He would never have known.
Yeah,
He would never have known.
I think this issue is the first one that I actually got to color the cover for. I think Alex handled the colors on all the other covers. I know he did up till 3, and then I can't remember what 4 looks like off the top of my head.
That's right. Well,
Oh,
you did some of the color last time though,
I
because of the.
I didn't color issue 4, but I edited it because we wanted to make Nina bigger on that cover.
Ghosty.
So I did a lot of
We had to make her
weird
ghosty.
I had to do a lot of like Photoshop editing on that one, but I didn't color it.
Ninja Bear, yay!
Yes, Ninja Bear, creator of Ninja Bear. Can I tell people what Crossing is about?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Crossing
we
is
shouldn't
a
talk
story.
about Crossing at all.
At all. Now, Crossing is a story of an annoying goth princess who is haunting the rookie train conductor who ran her over. She says her death was a murder made to look like suicide, and she refuses to cross over until this poor sucker helps solve her case. And so you can see they're getting along famously in this picture before they both get mown down by the train. This is a bit of a spoiler, I think, in the cover 1. But we are on the 5th issue of Crossing. So, but for the campaign, we're funded. We got funded in less than 48 hours, as a matter of fact. Given the year that we're having, I'm a big believer in just like waiting a long time until you're sure that we were finally funded. But we did. We passed the mark, and like we're on to stretch goals. So, and anybody who jumps on the campaign now can pick up any of the issues. We're up to 5, and there will be 6 in this series. So we're really excited about this. And then going over here, we have a new Every campaign we try to introduce something special and a Kickstarter exclusive just for that show. I don't think we're actually revolutionary in that. We try to do a Kickstarter exclusive to make the campaign really cool. But this time we really are doing something cool. The Ghost Vision variant, an edition of the comic where we will have a transparent overlay so that when you're reading a specific scene in the 5th issue, you can peel that transparent overlay back and you just see what the living characters are experiencing and hearing, and then you put that overlay back and you see beyond the veil to the ghostly plane. And Mark is making that happen for this campaign.
That is the coolest thing ever.
I know. Not like maybe ever, but yes.
No, ever.
About it.
When I say ever, I mean ever.
We're excited. Super excited about that. I haven't done that
You were
before.
paying attention, but as you were talking about it, I got to that point and I went, I'm going to read about this. And I started scrolling, then you said it again, and I went back to it like, okay, I can reread it again.
Yes, and Mark can tell, like, when we first sort of came up with the idea and came up with the title, the Ghost Vision variant, I was screaming it to myself all day. Just, like, so happy that we had named it that.
Well,
I like alliteration.
I was very excited and she had called me up to tell me about it because she was just like, I found this really cool. She had tried to first explain it to me via text the night before, and I had no idea what she was talking about. And so then the next morning, like, we talked on the phone and she was able to actually explain it to me better. And I was like, oh, I get it now. Because I guess, like, the image that's in the Kickstarter is from one of the other issues, and it's sort of a placeholder just to kind of, we want to visually explain how cool this is going to be. So I just whipped up an image with one of the things we already have. But the actual page that we're going to use in this story, it isn't just a novelty. It actually adds to the scene because it plays with what is happening in the scene. So you can switch it back and forth, and it actually adds an extra level of understanding to the actual story that's happening in that moment. I'm not giving away anything. I'm just saying it's not just we don't just throw things in for the sake of throwing them in. All right, we make sure it works.
We don't.
At Red Stylo Media, we are all about the story.
Intention. Yes. No. All this is intentional, but oh yeah. So that's the campaign. Very happy.
Mark, do you have your own show?
Yeah.
You are okay. The only reason why is because I'm looking at you, the way that you're talking into the mic, your headphones, the whole 9 yards. I'm like, this guy's a podcaster.
Yeah, I've done. Yeah, I have I do a podcast with a friend of mine who is a radio producer called the Who Cares with Jackson and Mark podcast. And as the title implies, we don't talk about anything worth talking about.
See, podcasters know podcasters. They can
One
smell
of
them.
us. One of us. One of us. I don't have a podcast. I don't have one.
No, but you do a lot of podcasting, and you do a lot of voiceover stuff. Actually, it was kind of like I was smiling to myself as you were giving the rundown about Crossing, because it almost for a second sounded like you do it so often on the mic, having to explain the story, that it almost sounded like you were playing a record lip syncing to it.
All writers know, all comics writers know, you must give your pitch in the elevator before somebody runs away. You got to do that. Quick. Working on that.
My co-host is having issues getting in her chair.
Oh, you're the most adorable co-host ever.
Come here.
You can tell Jackson I said that too.
Come
this
here.
little one.
Oh, Jackson's pretty adorable.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
He looks
Got
like
a
a
winner.
homeless person who plays golf.
By the way, I need to tell you her name. It's Fizzgig.
Biscuit.
So
cute.
looks like it.
It fits.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Not to go too far off, but the new Dark Crystal series, where because Fizzgig was the name of the animal in. The first
That's the
film,
name of their
but
species.
then-
Yeah,
now
it's their
the name of the
species.
species. Now it's the name of the species. Come on, Jim Henson Company, make up your mind.
So cute.
Please stop looking at the ceiling like there's a ghost up there. That
And she's
terrifies
the
the
one you
crap out of
tripped
me.
over.
She's the
right?
one I tripped over. I did not break it, by the way, because people were like, "Oh my gosh, did you break it?" I was like, "No, I just twisted it." And
She was
I
trying
had-
to take over the show.
I had this anklet on, and my ankle just swelled up, and that's when I knew, because the anklet went snap, and I went, "Oh, time to wrap that up and put it on an ice pack and then a heating pad."
Ow. Ow. I too had an injury after last week. in our bedroom, the television is like immediately 90 degrees to the left. And I was like this for 48 to 72 hours watching the returns come in for the election. And so like I've had this like terrible, like frozen, I've been like, what? Like leading with this shoulder for like the entire week.
Can you sue the government for like hurting you, like an injury?
I hurt myself. I did it to myself. No, and just like staring at the iPad and like willing it to change, and then staring up like this and like falling asleep roughly like this. Waking up is not fun. Not that I got a lot of sleep anyway, so it was bad.
See, I was different from everybody else. I was like, they haven't even started voting, checking the mail-in ballots, so I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody.
You're smarter than I am. I was up the whole time.
Everything the whole time that I kept looking at the news app on my phone.
From Tuesday to about Saturday, I would say. Same.
I can't say that every time I was awake, I wasn't like this.
Yeah.
Did anything change? Did anything change? Anything change?
Yes. Election returns are a young woman's game. Can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, one of those like thick neck
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
And say,
I'm gonna go with this comment is for my background.
Yes.
That's a crazy collection on your wall. Honey, that's what every wall in my house looks like. Oh my gosh, I want one.
Have
I got one of those on my closet door right over here.
I have a cool collection of my stuff too. No. Yeah, just the curtain. My backdrop.
See, I need something like that because I don't have any. I mean, I have your comics, but I don't have anything to throw up and go, look, right there.
Oh, yeah. It's like you need a green screen or something.
Yeah, well, if you actually start looking through my house, you'll see like anything from any of the sponsors. All the sponsor stuff is here. You see the Gym City stuff in the back. There's some Sean Forney art over there. Hasn't production stuff over there. Eventually I want to get a nice camera that I can rotate it and it doesn't try to wig out, because this webcam that I'm using is the same one that I got back in 2012, 2013. She old. I love you.
That's cool. Keep working. Keep working. See, you have to be nice to the peripherals. You have to, otherwise they'll throw us in the blender.
With all the Zoom calls and stuff, I think that everybody this year has become their own like art director and set designer, because you have to like figure out exactly what to do for your background to make sure it looks okay and to make sure you come off okay and you're well lit so you don't look like a serial killer. I think I kind of look like a serial killer right now. I normally don't, but this was the last minute thing I was thrown into, so my office was not prepared for streaming today.
The lighting has been like the biggest thing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lamps in this room, depending on what time of day it is, so I can get the right lighting.
Ready for my close up, the lighting, the shadow puppets or something on the walls.
It's horrible.
Have we entered the new age? Like there's this phase, this fashionable phase, and so like everybody had to do Zoom in the beginning, and then you realized your house looked like crap, so you got the Zoom background, and then people got a little too crazy with the Zoom background, and so now we're evolving to a more au naturel kind of look. So you have to make your Zoom space look a little, but it can't be a Zoom background anymore because that's cheating. I just put a curtain up. I'm not even gonna.
You want to go now because it's exactly what happened with social media. What we started with like MySpace, where it was all the weird lists, like really loud versions of disturbed songs the second you came onto a page, and then we've moved to like Instagram and Facebook, where the platforms are super minimal and just focused on just here's your pictures and a lot of white space around it. I mean, Facebook is a cluttered mess nowadays, but not when it first started. But Instagram definitely, Twitter, they're very streamlined. So that's what happened here.
My prediction is like that's going to happen next. Like the prediction is like then it's going to become the entrance. So the next Zoom thing is going to be not just your background and not just your perfect like curated space for the camera, but you get to zoom in or you get to like wave in to Zoom. That's next.
I found today I was working on a video project this afternoon, and so I had to pull a bunch of stock photos, and I discovered that on all the video stock sites they actually now have separate categories specifically called zoom backgrounds. So you can get like, landscapes and oceans and things, so you can put it behind you and make it look like you're super fancy, but you're not. You're sitting in front of a dirty curtain with light in front of it.
And then we're all gonna have theme songs, like with to announce us onto the field when we come into Zoom too. So you get the entrance, you get the background, you get the theme song, the pop up, little glitter.
Enrica wrote a theme song for Ninja Bear, so I have one sort of for me.
You do. Is it on your phone?
I don't think I put it on my phone.
I sang it too. I
want
sang
it.
that theme song too.
I want a theme song. I'm jealous.
I don't have a theme song.
I just love how everybody's like, yeah, I don't know what I should do in my background. Someone goes, how did you come up with yours? That stuff was there when I put the camera in.
I live here.
Well, no, that's
Yeah.
exactly what my house looks like. And my buddy always says to me, I'm super lucky that a woman was willing to marry me and move into what he calls Pee-wee's Playhouse with me. Again, I have this curtain behind me, but if I tilt the camera in any direction, you're going to see books of like comic books and toys are all around me right now.
Let's see if we can. There's the Voltron curtains. There's
nice.
more toys. This is what's behind.
I don't envy you when you have to move.
You live in a toy store.
The country's going to suffer a cardboard box shortage when you move to your house.
It really does.
Cardboard makes the world go round. If we haven't learned that by now.
I have a closet full of cardboard.
My mom made fun of me when I first moved to Florida. I lived in Florida for 15 years. I left shortly Ohio to move to Florida. And 98% of my boxes said action figures on them.
Mhm.
I had like maybe a box of dishes.
Only one of them was action figures. The rest of it was things that nobody wants to see. Secret things.
But it's funny because because I don't know about you guys, but like if you see the Grinch, you see him next to Vader. So the Christmas stuff's already been coming out for about a week.
Yeah, I know. I have a strict holiday rule where decorations do not go up before the first of the month, and they need to come down within the first week of the next month, depending on when the holiday falls.
But but see, I have this thing where my Christmas stuff has to be up by Thanksgiving. And it's never up by Thanksgiving, even though I start right after Halloween.
Boy, give Thanksgiving its due. All right, go outside, blow up your house by trying to deep fry a turkey. Go inside, comes out too dry, and potatoes that come out too moist, and then nobody wants to eat them. Do that, then put up the tree, then pass out from drinking too much eggnog.
But it's so much easier to take down. Okay, see. So you see what I have. This, you've seen the 40-year-old virgin, how every room of his is like this.
Yeah.
That's mine. That's my house. Bathroom, everything. So the collectibles have to come down to make room for the Halloween collectibles, but then the Halloween collectibles have to come down to make room for the Christmas collectibles.
I'm right there with you. That's what coffee is for, because there's no need to sleep. I also prefer doing magical elves version of decorating, where I wait till my family goes to bed and then I stay up all night decorating, so when they wake up, it's like, wow, it's magical. Oh, look, Dad's passed out on the floor.
All of that sounds very involved. And I myself have subscribed to the silly string school of decorating. So decorative colors and silly string in a pinch, very quick. And my family, we were not planners. And so like the tree would go up like 4 hours before the Christmas presents were supposed to be opened. And then if we were supposed to take them down according to Mark's formula, we just put them up. Why would we take them down? So they didn't go down until April. So that's the family I grew up with.
States, everybody will have to follow these rules.
Everyone.
But Enrica's one of those people who is super excited when they invented those weird like laser lights that you just put in front of your house and it just puts
That's what we had to do. Turn it
because
on.
now people use those instead of
It's
string
on.
lights. It's just there. I'm done. I'm
Decorating.
decorating.
No.
Lights done.
There's nothing more
like
fascinating than sitting there going, putting strings together, going, this one's dead, changing all the bulbs, yelling.
I've done that.
See,
I've literally sat and replaced every bulb on a string of lights just to make them work, and then find out that the actual cable is broken and I need to throw the whole thing away.
I just did that because I was looking for my white lights for my Christmas village.
And then I tell Enrica that, oh, I'm sorry I'm late on coloring that book. I'll get right to it. I had some other things. I'm giving away all of my secrets in this show, and I shouldn't be doing that because I'm not gonna get paid
Remember
anymore.
that thingy time you said?
Oh God, when she
I will
Rosie
remember.
Perez, we're all in trouble.
I will remember.
Should we talk about the book at all, or
We did.
She's like, we did. I'm done. I just want to chill now.
No, 26 more days to go. We launched this thing. I do want to say thank you to all of the people who, because this has taken a lot longer than we thought it would to get the series out. And so the fact of the matter, like the fact that we have so many people who have come back to campaign after campaign after campaign, who keep saying they want to see the next issue, makes my heart so happy. And then we have new folks that jump in each time too. So we did get funded very quickly for this one, and we've got 26 days to go. But thank you to all the people who came back.
Yay!
I love you too.
And take a look at these amazing creators there.
Yeah, we haven't been talking very much about Alex. Alex Cormack.
I think when it comes to Alex Cormack, the less said, the better.
I just want to know why there's a bird on your head.
There's a story there.
That's why I'm asking why there's a bird on your head.
Which is the more interesting story? Why there's a bird or why I had hair?
Why there's a bird. Maybe that's the reason why
it's
in the hair, which is why he no longer has it. Wow, we just ended that story. That was a real short story.
No, I rescued the pigeon. It's a pigeon. I rescued it. That was like 10 years ago at this point. Jesus. But yeah, so I had rescued it, and then I had like kind of nursed it back to health. And then before I released her back into the wild, I had to take a picture with her on my head because I am a fan of Invader Zim. Anybody who knows Invader Zim will know exactly why I just said that. But yeah, that's the story.
And then, of course, the guy with no bird on his head, that is Alex Cormack.
Alex Cormack, yes. And people following comics, they'll know him from Road of Bones, and then he's done a lot of stuff with Comics Tribe, Sync, and a couple of other, the Red 10, I think he also did. So a lot of other titles. He is a monster. He's always working on stuff. He's worked with tons of publishers. Yeah, Alex, he's good people.
A little bit. He just launched a Patreon, so if anybody cares for those things, check him out on Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Man, that word just keeps coming up today, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am. You know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. No, what's funny is that we've all known each other a long time. Mark and Alex, actually, Alex introduced Mark and I, and they knew each other in art school.
From college. We went to college. Oh, God, that was so long ago.
And so, but we've all known each other. The three of us have known each other now for 11 years. 10 years, 11 years. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, no, because Cormac and I were in college together studying animation, and then we went our separate ways, and he got really deep into comic books and met Enrica, and then Enrica did her first anthology for Red Stylo, POE Twisted, which was stories not adapted, but inspired by the works of Poe. And then he reached out to me because he's like, hey, I met this woman. She has a indie publisher. They're looking for people that want to contribute to this anthology. I thought of you. Why don't you reach out to her and see what you think? So I ended up writing and illustrating, and then illustrating another story for that. And I lettered. I think I colored a bunch of stuff, and I lettered a bunch. So pretty much right off the bat, Enrica was just like, "Here's a whole bunch of stuff.
Do things.
Do
these things.
I can't find anybody else to do it."
That's not true. That part's not true.
This was back when I was like, all right, this is going to be my first printed comic, so I'm going to be all like authentic about it. I'm going to draw it on paper like forever. So I drew it on these giant sheets of paper, crystal board in my home studio, and then I had to scan them, but I didn't have a big flatbed scanner, a small one, so I had to do it in quarters and piece it back together in Photoshop. And
when I do think about how the books were patched together in the beginning.
Cool, I need a job. I'm an artist. See? Ignore the writing. That's the list of the dinos I need in Ark survival for breeding purposes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
You know what? I would be careful. Baby Yoda is becoming a very polarizing figure since the last episode of Mandalorian there. So we need to be careful.
Controversial scene.
He needs to stop eating everybody's eggs.
So I have an Enrica.
I'm sorry, it's been a week. Y'all can get over it.
I have a baby who's 15 months old, and he dressed like Baby Yoda. My wife put him in Baby Yoda costume for Halloween, and then I watched that episode of The Mandalorian, and I was like, that's my son. That's the exact face he makes when he's doing something he knows he's not supposed to do, and he's looking right at me while he's doing it.
Look, all I have to say is all these people who are ticked off about this, do you not remember the first season him eating frogs? What makes you think he's not going to be eating these eggs?
It's not. It wasn't sad until they revealed that like this was like an endangered, dying species, and he's eating all the eggs.
No, it's the last of her line, not her species, just her and her husband's line.
It's the last of her line, and she's part of an endangered species. So it was like really important that this be done.
He didn't eat them all.
The little frogs he's chasing. But you know, animals that give birth, like lay so many eggs, they lay so many eggs because they have to play the odds of how many of the young are going to survive. That's biology. Do you want to get into an argument about biology? Because I'll do it.
Who says that he?
Speaking of procreation. Speaking of procreation, I want to point out, now that we've got Mark on camera here, the first campaign for Crossing, Alex had fortuitously impregnated his wife. And
could you say it less creepy?
And we had a baby on board tier that I, to this day, am convinced helped us get like as high as we did on the first campaign. I think we skipped, but then last campaign, Mark fortuitously impregnated his wife
again
and
less
had a kid. So we're in an off year, but when it's time to do Crossing 6, I'm just saying,
pregnant
one
people
of you
out there who are interested in joining a comics book production team, give us a call.
It's just, you know, for luck at this point, you must impregnate one of your wives.
Got it. Requirements to work at Red Stylo must have a man or be a man to be able, and somebody must be able to procreate. Got it.
Because we must sacrifice your children to the Crossing.
And can I take a moment and just share? This was the image that we used to promote when I was when we did the last Kickstarter.
Oh baby.
Oh baby. And I think we said on the thing, Mark's having a baby, Anne Marie is helping a lot.
Yeah.
All it needed was that bird on your head to make that mwah.
It's true. But Crossing was baby's first comic, I believe, because after Boston Comic Con, I got to see the kid. And so you this isn't a bye year, but Crossing 6, somebody's got to have a baby.
Last
It
fall.
could be me.
This was before we weren't allowed to see each other anymore. Now we're not allowed to. So we did it now.
Well, she ain't having a baby. I ain't having a baby. Because if I have a baby, it's the Antichrist. Because there's something not happening. So if I end up,
me want Baba.
So, but I'm a little nervous for this campaign because even though it's going well, we don't have a baby on board to kind of like bump it up there. So
I would like to take the time to remind Enrica that we did a Kickstarter for Ninja Bear at the beginning of the summer, and it was literally launched the day before they announced the quarantine. And she wants to complain that even though this is going well in that it was fully funded in 24 hours, she's still a little nervous about how it's going to do.
That was a tough day. That was a very difficult day. The day we launched the Kickstarter and the quarantine. We launched the quarantine that day. That was... And
you know what day was also difficult? Every subsequent day of the Kickstarter. We wouldn't have made our goal had Kickstarter not pitied us.
Yes, and prolonged the torture an extra week. That's true. We've had a rough... Damn it! No, that's true. But hopefully... Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So we need.
Right. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a lucky day. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I would say in 2020.
Did you see the look on her face?
Yeah.
Don't say that in 2020. Don't.
In this year, Friday the 13th is probably going to be the luckiest day that we can hope for because
maybe
it's opposite year. Everything's opposite this
opposite year. We'll see. Nervous. No, but we
You know the words that you should say right now. What could possibly happen?
My desk.
Hey, what could possibly go wrong?
Knocking on the thing.
Well, we have a lot of cool stuff lined up for stretch goals, and
Yes, you do.
More cool stuff lined up for future stretch goals, because we went up. She and I talked about it last night, and she was like, "You mean to go past this number? I wouldn't plan for it now, but I wouldn't, totally rule it out later. So just don't lose those ideas. Keep them in your head. We'll see what we want. We see what we are in a week.
See what happens. We'll see what happens.
The stretch goals are up here. Bam. Had to find them.
Yes, actually, we did achieve a stretch goal today, and so the next one is a mini comic of Ninja Bear. So not only could you get Crossing, any of our 5 issues and some other cool swag, but a new adventure featuring the deadly yet adorable yet cuddly yet dangerous Ninja Bear.
Ninja Bear. Ninja Bear. Oh, sorry.
She's messing up our theme song.
Yeah.
Let me sing the theme song for everybody.
Yes.
Ninja Bear. There. That was it. That was it.
And I made it into
Can somebody get me the remix of that? I need it slightly longer.
We have the ringtone.
Ninja Bear. That's the ring. That's the remix.
That's the remix.
Back in the 90s, every time they had a remix song on the radio,
that would be cool.
Remix.
We do. We need to do we have to do a country one. We have to do
Somebody
death
get
metal
System.
one,
Somebody get
screamo.
either Disturb or System of the Down to do the Ninja Bear.
I like it.
System of a Down put out 2 new songs, this year for the first time in 15 years. Very exciting.
I know.
Got to throw that out there.
So now they need to do the cover of Ninja Bear, and then their life will be complete.
Yes.
I'll
The
call
pinnacle.
Serge, see what he says. He did do Serge Tankian did sing on Mike Doherty's Godzilla movie from last year. The year before. He did the cover of Godzilla from Oyster Cult with Metalocalypse, guys. I'm tired.
I want to look at some of the pretty stuff. Hold on. Because I'm looking through this, and I love the dynamic between these two. But this is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen.
I didn't color that either.
Alex, yeah. And it's funny because in the deluxe version of the PDF, I have the first one that he did. He did another version of this first. And I was completely blown away and really attached to that first one. And then I got a call from him right before we go to print. He's like, I redid that scene. And I'm just like, what? What did you do? And then he showed it to me. And yeah, it's everybody comments on that one. It's really, really great for the first issue. So Alex, he just does wonderful work. Really great job. And then I do think that Alex and Mark work very, very well together. I think Mark has done a lot we played with a lot of different concepts in terms of the ghosts and how to make them ethereal, how to make them we didn't want them to just be glowy and flowy. We wanted them to have some life in there. And
well, it's tricky. So Alex had done those first 6 pages that you're looking at there, where with that whole scene, because essentially it's a good teaser, because as you're reading it, it just seems like a one night stand until you realize oh, that's that last frame where she gets hit by the car, and you're like, oh, this is different. So he had done the coloring on that to sort of establish, but then realized he wasn't going to have time to do the whole thing. So that's when they pinged me. And the problem is that the way he had done the ghosts, the style in that was to make it feel a little bit more realistic, because he didn't want her to look like a ghost, and that works fine in the low lighting. But there's scenes where there's a scene in I think was it the 4th issue where they're literally out in the middle of the day at a track meet, and it's how do you make her look ghostly in broad daylight? So there's a lot of challenges there, and taking what Alex had sort of established in this one scene and then extrapolating that to make it work across the board. It's different from this one shot in MC's apartment to even a nighttime shot when they're wandering around downtown Baltimore. The other thing that I do like about working on this series personally is because I live in Boston, Enrica's in Baltimore. And I visited a couple of times. I really like Baltimore, but I don't live there. But one of the things that I enjoy about the way Alex draws this and getting to color it is how good he does at nailing the Baltimore feel for when the scenes are in downtown Baltimore. You could see that if you visited Baltimore, if you know Baltimore, you look at those pages and you're like, that's Baltimore, and you get this feeling of like being there. And specifically for me, when I'm bringing color into it, I can just sit there for an evening and feel like I'm visiting Baltimore in my mind, like those old songs about California from the 60s.
That's actually really impressive because
I mentioned that I'm very tired.
Are you
What are you,
tired,
like,
Mark?
raising a baby or something? Is that why you're tired?
No, I've never been to Baltimore, but to hear that, seeing it, you go, yeah, I know these places. I think that's really cool because there's a comics group that I've been doing some work with, and they do a bunch of stuff here in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I live. And when I was reviewing their comic, because I knew the area so much, I was like, I love this comic. I can smell the Mill Creek when I read this comic. And they're like, thank you. It's like, I just know the area so well. And the Mill Creek is like this sewage dump area that's in Cincinnati in the downtown area. Like, you drive in it, you're like this. And I was like, as a compliment going, I could smell it just by looking at it because I knew exactly where I was. And that's
a great
impressive.
job on this book that as I read it, I can smell crap the whole time. It's fantastic.
The whole time.
Oh, I have to hold my nose the whole time I'm reading it. It's fantastic. I love it.
Well, kudos to Alex, and yes, it's absolutely true. He does a great job, and he intentionally goes and tries to incorporate these places in Baltimore. But part of this is also self-defense, because if you get it wrong, God help you. People will say something, they will go after you, and it like ruins the whole thing. So I think part of this is definitely self-preservation for the book,
but
because
that's where you put all the credit on Alex, but really it's half and half, because he's the one executing it, and you're the one, I'm assuming, just sitting on the phone screaming, make it look like Baltimore, do it now, make it look like that.
Yes. That's how those conversations usually go. I do a lot of Googling. And there have been a couple times, and he has wanted to kill me. I know he has, but he's always very smiley and nice about it. Like, he'll say, I just want to kill you. I'm like, I know.
Absolutely. No, definitely.
I know.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. Not a problem.
Made him redraw a couple scenes in Fell's Point, and he was not pleased. But he's very magnanimous about it. So
I just want to show off some more stuff here, like this really cool poster. That
the
is
Invisible
awesome.
Woman variant. Yes.
Cover art posters. Those are so pretty.
Alex and Mark do a great job.
I really like this, though. I really do. The crossing patch. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Enrica, hold up that crossing sign again, and then everybody at home watching, just imagine it much smaller and made of fabric.
And glowing.
And
it'll glow. It'll glow. These are pretty cool, these standees. We did a Ninja Bear standee too, and so we're going to do some for crossing. And then we do have a stretch goal where everybody will get like a mini of this crossbuck if we can get that high. Knock on wood. So we'll see. But the cool thing about being a comics creator is like getting swag, making your own swag out of your stuff. That part's fun. Ninja Bear.
Well, of course, I mean, obviously, everybody, I mean, it's going to happen that you're going to have to get to the $8,000 because of the hologram sticker for that one. Because, like, those, I don't know what it is about 2020. Of everything that has gone wrong, the one thing that everybody wants and the one thing that is totally right are these holographic stickers. Like, everybody has them and everybody wants them. And it doesn't matter what's on them.
Yes. No, hologram sticker. We actually do have a hologram sticker as an add-on in the list. And then we have a special bonus sticker that if we do get to 8,000, we will, everybody will get one automatically. So we got some fun stuff planned.
But yeah,
Should be good.
so you guys have already unlocked the guest art gallery and crossing number 5 extras added to the regular print edition of the comic, and Ninja Bear adventure, including the passenger car and backers. Well, that's cool. And then the next one is the print. Hold on. Next one is take a look. That's the one that you guys are working towards now.
Yes, the printed Ninja Bear Mini at 4,800, and then we will, if we can get to 5,400, the one after that is a bonus story, a 10-page bonus story from one of the characters, one of the ghosts, because everybody's got a backstory. And as a writer, I don't always get to write them, but if our backers are kind and generous and jump in, I get to write it and do it. So
yay! By the way, I want to say thank you, because you're the first person that I've seen on Kickstarter that I've been covering a lot of Kickstarters here lately because, well, there's no show, so everybody went to Kickstarter. You're the only one I have seen thus far of all the ones that I've done that actually has to pledge the $1.
Oh yeah. Oh
Everybody else started at 5 or higher.
well, you know, it's funny. There's a story about that, and it's not that interesting a story. But again, when we're talking about like the phases of things, right? Like the very first Kickstarter campaign I did, Kickstarter it only just started. It was only like maybe 2 years old, and so a lot of the basic practices of campaigns hadn't really started then. And then later on, when we came back to Kickstarter, everybody on principle wanted to have a $1 tier. And you wanted to get something for $1, not just give us money because you like us kind of thing. It was like, give somebody something for $1. And so I've kind of stayed in there, and then it has evolved a little bit further. And now like $5, $10 is the opening tier. And as great as that is, we want bodies. We want lots of bodies. We want those bodies to pile up. So we want backers. And so for $1, you will get issue 1.
I'm just saying, it's kind of refreshing because one of the things that, everybody's talking about is there's so many people out of work. It is hard. So why would you, in times like this, get rid of the $1 and move it up to 5? Why not leave the $1?
Yeah. I like getting stuff. I like getting free, like cheap stuff. I really like getting cheap stuff. So
it's like, I haven't worked this much. I can still give $1.
The important thing to remember with the Kickstarter campaigns that I think a lot of people tend to forget is it's half fundraising. It's also half marketing. There's a lot of Kickstarters, the most successful Kickstarters, and there's been some really, really like high-end successful ones. They make the money in the Kickstarter, and then they go on to make even more money because of how much how much exposure the Kickstarter campaign got their project in the first place. So you can go on to continue to make more money. So of course, if you give people the opportunity to read the first issue of your book for $1, then that's going to get them hooked to want to get the other issues, whether they get it during the Kickstarter or they buy it later on from the website, or they go online and they download it illegally, and then Enrica gets nothing.
But to be fair, I do see a lot of campaigns, they do give their first issue for free too. So
right,
some folks are doing that.
It's just,
I wish we could afford to, but we can't.
Right. But still, in times like this, keeping the $1 reward, I just wanted to say kudos to you, because like he was saying, getting that promotion out there. When you back a Kickstarter, the first thing it goes is, do you want to share on social media that you backed this? And if you can't people are like, man, I kind of want to back this, but how do I come up with this $10 or $15? Because this could mean meals for a couple of days in times like this. But $1, people are so easy to go, here's $1. And then those people either tweet it or Facebook it, and then it reaches those people. Because it doesn't say how much you backed. It just said, I backed this. And
because
to me,
$5 could be me buying flour to make bread that I'm going to throw away because it came out really bad.
That joke is almost old. Like, it might come back.
Almost, but until they lift the quarantine, it's not old. That's
right. We go back in quarantine, it's going to be back. It'll be retro. Well, you know what? I have some really great friends who don't realize how important even $1 is. And so they can only give that little bit.
Upset
Am
the
I
dog?
echoing? Am I? Yeah. Sorry.
No.
Okay, sorry. I thought this sound was
My
echoing.
other dog sat next to my chihuahua, and my chihuahua is growling the most nastiest growl. So I had to turn around and give them the mother stare.
Siblings, behave.
And look at her. She's like, I'm
I didn't do it.
submissive.
That's just me.
And she's being mean to the 18-year-old dog.
I would never. We have a little Maggie that does that to our 11-year-old dog, Henry.
Stop kicking Shigo.
Well, I do have friends that because they can only give $1, they feel like that would be insulting if they only give $1, so they don't give anything at all. And it's like, we want bodies. We want bodies. So just give for $1.
I realized that it would be insulting for me to give you only $1, so I'm going to give
only
you
give you.
nothing.
I'm going to
So
give you
that I
nothing.
don't
Right.
Right.
It would be insulting for me to give you anything, so I will give you nothing
I will give you nothing.
because
Yeah.
I'm a good person. Now go away.
We want bodies. We want bodies. And I just,
Stop saying that. You write a book about people getting murdered.
We want
This
bodies.
is going to come up in the court case.
Here,
Indeed.
have a body.
Yes! Yes! Amanda, I want your body. Awesome. Thank you.
Turn off, for my own sake of not having to be called in court, I'm going to turn off my headphones now for about 15 minutes.
Course, the rest of this you don't get to watch because you don't get my credit card
We
number.
won't do that, but thank you for like showing people like how it all
I
works.
just turned on my screen recording software.
Kickstarter does have a new cool thing that we are a beta tester for this too. Kickstarter now is allowing you to do add-ons in the cart instead of having to do math and add stuff. And so if you have given to Kickstarter campaigns before and you know that they have these add-ons, you can do this before, or you have to go to a third-party service and then you do this stuff after. Kickstarter is kind of entering the market here with this. And so for our campaign, you can also get extra copies or extra things and add them to your pledge as time goes on. And we'll be adding some bonuses as we hit more stretch goals. So.
And that's normally what I do is, I try to at least go, hey, I got you. I can do this. This is what I could do. And then if I can come up with anything else, then I do it. And then I just add on as I go.
Thanks, Amanda.
Well, of course.
It's
what I do. You know me, I have always supported you guys, and
Yes.
I always will.
From the beginning, actually. Amanda and I met some just really good people. Even when I first came into comics, and those people have stuck around the last 10 years, and other people come and go. And Amanda is one of the core folks. She takes care of us every single week on Twitter. She does retweets and follow Fridays, and you just take care of everybody.
I just do what I can.
And you always have. So, no, absolutely. Wonderful. And then she lets me sneak
I'm
cigarettes.
going to start crying because I'm going to leave.
Yes. Yes. So great.
We've known each other now, what, 7 years?
Yeah, 7 or 8 years.
7? Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about all those, when we opened, all the shows that we haven't been able to go to and all the people I miss.
Oh my
Especially
God.
Ohio, Michigan, those folks. It's been a while.
It's been quite a while. I mean, we used to always hang out at Chicago.
Yeah. Something like the big shows are like, I miss the small shows because that's where you really meet the most people, and you can have the most time to like really just have a good time at those shows. Whereas the larger shows, you're just constantly hustling and working and stuff like that. But
you and me in downtown, what was it, Louisville, Kentucky, just chilling.
we're in the mountains, I think. We were somewhere, yes. And then I saw you like. The building crumbled around you. She does this, like, she did Meatloaf at karaoke. I think it was like objects in the rearview mirror or something, and just the power. Just like the building crumbled, and we paid the tab, and we left. It was great.
I miss this stuff. I really do.
Yeah, miss you.
See, now that's where I'm different, because you guys are like con people, but Comic-Con,
Mark,
kind of public spaces scare the crap out of me.
Mark stays home. Mark stays home.
remember a couple years ago, Enrica needed me to go and run the booth at Boston Comic Con because she couldn't make it, and then she was sending another collaborator of ours, Mr. Jason Strutz, to come run the booth with me.
Yo,
and he was
Jason.
late, and I hid under the table until he showed up. And man,
I'd lose my job if I did that because I run 2 comic book shows. So
Listen, there have been plenty of times I have felt like hiding under the table myself. And probably have.
well, you know me. I'm so introverted, not very outgoing.
Indeed. Oh yeah, you're just a wallflower. It'll be back. It'll come back someday.
It'll come back.
In the meantime, we'll be cyborgs and we're growing antenna and doing all this stuff and special add-ons.
Growing antennas. Oh my God. She's turning us into my favorite Martian. Oh my God.
It's happening, whether you realize it or not. No, we're all being reprogrammed to be something different.
All right, guys. Well, we are coming down to the hour. So, of course, as always, thank you, both of you. I love how Enrica's like, Mark's going to come in for just a moment. Stays.
But that's what happened. I was just, 10 years ago, I was just going to come in to work on one book, and then boom.
That's true. Yeah, you're stuck.
I don't know. You got to tent the place to get rid of me.
But, of course, in case someone hasn't noticed what's scrolling down at the bottom, Enrica, tell everybody where they can find everything.
We have a website, redstylomedia.com, Facebook, Twitter, red_stylo. I don't know who's Red Stylo on Twitter, but you've got my handle and I'd like it. But red_stylo.
That's their Twitter.
Yes. Twitter. Instagram is a little bit of a black box for me. I don't always understand it, but I have Mark to explain Instagram to me.
I mean, I know how to get like 5 likes on a picture, so that puts
that's all you need. But we are in Kickstarter until December 9th. Crossing this series.
If you guys want an actual link, and I don't know why Kickstarter doesn't put the name of the projects in the links, but they don't. But here is the actual link right there in the comments for you guys. Bam.
Yes, please back it, and you will recognize Mark's work. He's on a lot of stuff. You'll recognize Alex's work. He's on a lot of stuff. We've been putting out books for the last 10 years, and so check out our website. But check out this campaign. We've got some really, really good stuff planned. And then if you want to see Ninja Bear, our next stretch goal, you get a mini. So jump in, punch your ticket.
I want a Ninja Bear.
You're getting one. It's yours.
I want Ninja Bear, and I want a little Ninja Bear button, and I want a little Ninja Bear sticker, and then I want like a little pop figure of like a Ninja Bear about this size.
I wanted to do 3D printed figures for our Kickstarter, but we couldn't figure out how to make it work, and then the world fell apart.
Soon.
You need to figure it out. You need to do it
soon.
Yes, I really want it.
Action postcards. Those are fun.
Well, we will do a special pack for Amanda, and since I'm sending you stuff anyway, then we will do a special pack for folks tonight. So if any AGP members, any watchers jump onto the Kickstarter tonight, I'm going to send Amanda a list of names and a packet of really fun stuff, and she gets to pick the winner. So, and again, $1. We want your body. So jump in to this campaign, and any new names, send me a note, mention AGP, and then that pack's going to go to Amanda, and she's going to pick the winner.
So if you've watched on Twitch, or if you're going to watch on YouTube in the next couple of days, and you heard it here on AGP, you let us know. All right? Because there's going to be some stuff coming up between Red Stylo Media and AGP, so y'all need to be on the lookout for it.
Maybe.
We got some, there's some planning, but we're not going to tell you what. It's so hush-hush. It's all hush-hush. And, of course, as always, everybody, thank you so much for supporting AGP. We really appreciate it. Make sure that you're checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're on YouTube, ring the bell for notification. Give thumbs up to the videos and make sure that you are subscribed so you can find this content easier and other people will be able to find it. And if you're here on Twitch watching where you get to redeem these channel points, make us drink, make us sing, make us not curse, make us, when we're playing video games, choose our heroes. We appreciate it because we love building this community. But don't forget to follow or subscribe. And remember, if you're a subscriber, you'll get to watch this content ad-free. You'll get badges. You'll get emotes. And don't forget, Subscribing, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe absolutely free by linking it to your Twitch account, subscribing to AGP. You get charged nothing. We get paid. It's a win-win situation, so we can continue making great content. On that note, you're an amazing community. A big shout out to Enrica and Mark for joining us, and we will see you all on the next one. Bye. Where's the video? There it is.